Bismillah. Right, welcome back. This is our second Visual C++ program. Here we will develop a dialog based application which will use a few controls. See, this will be the output. Say, for example, the first number is 25 and another number is say 10, and I can perform addition 25 plus 10 35, subtraction or multiplication or division. This is an integer division. 25 by 10 is equal to 2. So here in this application we will use an edit box, static text and group box and radio button. Right, so start Visual C++, select as usual file, new, select MFC application wizard and call it as I call this one as equal to simple calculator or some calculator. Okay, there are three types of forms as I said in the last lecture: single document SDA or MDA or dialog based application. This is a dialog based application. Either you keep on pressing next or you directly click finish. Okay, so these are the few resources that are generated: dialog box resources, icons and string table and version. These things we shall see in future videos. Now this is the dialog base we get, and I remove this control. I switch on the grid so that the controls can be placed in exact positions. Right, now I take a static text, and this I call it as a number 1. This is only a label, and one more edit box to get the number. Okay, then I select both the controls, I drag it for getting number 2 and one more for getting the result. Okay, this OK cancel button I will put it somewhere else here, and right now just for this alone will do. So let us change a few properties. The second number I call it as number 2. I pin this so that it remains fixed, and for this one instead of number 1 I call this one is equal to say result. Okay, now these three edit boxes I go to the general tab, and in the styles I make it as a number and I make it as right justified, and since this is a calculated field I make this one is equal to read only. Right, to make it little more appealing look, just let us put a border. Therefore this is a static group, and here I don't want the word static, therefore I select that, go to the properties, in the general you just remove that so that a border can appear. Okay, so alright, now this same thing I want one more, I drag it, and I want a few option buttons. This is one button for addition, one button for subtraction, one more button for multiplication, one more button for division. Okay, so this one, so what shall we do is we shall make it little all are too much cluttered, therefore we will bring it little bit down, and these two radio boxes, radio buttons, I'll make it little bit, I will give some space. Okay, right, so therefore for this one I go to the properties, instead of radio button 1 I call this one is equal to addition, and I pin this, and this I call it as say subtraction. For the third radio button I call it as multiplication, and for the fourth radio button I call it as division. Right, now the main thing what you have to do is for this addition, since from here one group starts, you call it as this one as a group, therefore from here a group starts. Alright, now we have to associate some variables, therefore what shall we do is let me make this one a little bit smaller, and this also a little bit smaller. Alright, this is a good look. Alright, this a little bit I center it. Alright, right, now go to the class wizard and for these things we have to associate a variable. For this one for this control I will put n1, this one n2, this one n3, and this one I will put a control. Therefore go to the class wizard. In the member variable for the edit box 1 I allocate a memory variable of type integer. For edit box 2 I allocate a memory variable n2 of type integer, and for edit box 3 I call it as n3 of type integer, and for the radio button 1 I call this one is equal to say choice of type integer. Alright, so all the controls are given memory variables. Now whenever a radio button is clicked, therefore I am adding a member function. Therefore this is called as a message. Whenever the radio button 1 is clicked, this function will be executed. Likewise, whenever the radio button 2 is clicked, the function. Whenever a radio button 3 is clicked, this function. And whenever the radio button 4 is clicked, this function. Okay. Now double click this one. Now here I have, this is the routine which is executed when the radio button 1 is selected. First I have to transfer the data from the control to the variable. From the control to the variable I said it is update data true. Therefore first what we do is this command line we remove it. Update data, do not type the line, type a few characters, press Ctrl and space, you will get that intelligence menu, and then select. Because this is a C language, therefore it is case sensitive. Even if I put small d, it will show so many errors. Therefore update data, either you call it as true or you can leave as such. By default if you do not specify, it is true. Okay, now my n3, the n3 is equal to n1 plus n2 because it is a addition radio button. Then now the result is in n3, that has to be transferred back to the control. Therefore we say update data false. Okay, now the same three things we have to repeat for all the three radio buttons. Therefore Ctrl C, copy it, and here you paste it. Radio button 2 performs a subtraction. Likewise the radio button 3 performs multiplication. Therefore I do n1 into n1 multiplied by n2. And the fourth radio button performs a division. Therefore since both are integers, I will get only the integer part. Now save the program, build the application, and see there are 0 errors and 0 warnings. Okay, therefore now run the application. Now this is the dialog I get. Now if I say this one is equal to 300 and this value is equal to say 20, and if I select the addition button 320, subtraction 280, multiplication 6000, and division is equal to 15. This one is read only, therefore nothing can be changed, and these are the two numbers, and using the radio button we can perform simple arithmetic operation. So the purpose of this video lecture is to acquaint you with a few controls, like what is an edit box, what is a static text, what is a radio button, and what is a command button, and what is meant by a message, and how a simple program is developed in C++, Visual C++ platform. Now this one is called, see that this is a dialog based application. Therefore we have other programs are there which is called a single document interface, multiple document interface, but this is a dialog based application. And see that this is an icon which you can find that these are the resources. Okay, right, remaining thing we shall see in third lecture. Thank you so much. If you have any questions or anything further clarification, you contact me by email hfaheemahmed@rediffmail.com or subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.